Today, as my special guest, I have Connie Parnell, the Election Board Secretary for Cherokee County. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jerry.
This is a real important time to be thinking about registering to vote, and election cycles coming up, and of course the census tract of 2010 will be here before we know it. So this morning and today we want to talk about all of those special components to voter registration. Connie, tell us a little bit about the specifics about how one goes about to make sure they're registered correctly in their precinct.
Well, you want to make sure that you're voting on your district, so having your address and registering to vote, and you can pick up a registration form at the tag office, our office at the election board, any post office. You can also go to the state election board website and download a form and print it off and mail it to the state election board, then it comes back to us.
And we also know that just coming in the next couple of weeks, a special election here in the city of Tahlequah, and it's my understanding that that period for registering to vote has closed for that specific election.
Yes, the registration for the August the 11th election closed on Friday the 17th. So if you didn't get a registration in or a change to your registration allowing you to be registered at an address that's located within the municipality of Tahlequah, you can't get that done for this election.
And let's talk just a minute about that election, the date of the election, and also the fact that those people, maybe it's summertime, they may be out of town on vacation or have a conflict on their schedule, and they can do some early voting prior to that election. Give us just a brief overview of how that works for our voters.
This is really a great thing for our voters that say you're going to be gone. It's August. You're trying to get that last little vacation in, and you want to make sure that you're available to be able to vote for that August the 11th election. We have what's called early in-person voting, and that takes place on August the 7th and the 10th, which is a Friday and a Monday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the County Election Board office, which is at 914 South College Avenue. All you have to do is you come in, we will assist you, you'll be able to vote your ballot, and out the door and you're gone.
And also then on that Tuesday will be the regular voting poll locations throughout the city of Tahlequah voting area.
Yes, and those are all the precincts that have part of the Tahlequah Municipal in it. They will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on August the 11th.
And if someone's not absolutely certain where they go to vote for this election, of course they could call your number there at the election board.
Yes, and there is also at the state election board website, it's called your poll locator. You can go, if you're real savvy with the computers, you can go to that the polling locator and you just put in your information, and it's going to tell you exactly what your polling place is, and also MapQuest will give you directions from your home to that polling place.
And what would the website be then for the state election board?
And you're going to want me to put on my glasses.
My
glasses turn dark in the lights, so let's put those back on. It's www.elections.state.ok.us.
Well, that's real important to make a note of that. We'll try to have it for you throughout the program, and also remind you that for any questions about the election cycle coming up in August and also voter registration, you're always encouraged to call our local Cherokee County Election Board. Let's talk briefly about the very important census of 2010 is coming up, and although that's a federal government program that's going to locate every citizen in the United States, but particularly important here in Cherokee County in the city of Tahlequah, how does that impact our registered voters?
It's going to impact the whole state. With the completion of the 2010 census, all lines, starting with your congressional, will change in accordance with the fluctuation of growth and decrease. So everyone, all of our 5 congressmen have to have equal representation. It's 1 vote, 1 person. So from that, they will redraw the congressional lines, then they will redraw the House lines, then they will redraw the Senate lines. That trickles on down to the counties. All 77 counties will get those district changes. Then we will in turn, the county commissioners' lines will be adjusted. Then it goes on down even to ward lines for the municipality.
So everyone's impacted by the 2010 census.
Everyone.
Well, so important, and I'm sure that as we get close to that day, we're going to ask you to come back on to make sure everybody understands that's so important to be prepared to do the census report, and also that's going to affect voting location, possible representation. We've just got another minute or so left in the program. Tell us about those people that go to the polls on election day. There's some conversations from time to time about, well, do I need to have a driver's license? Do I need to have some kind of registration card? What's required when a voter goes in from Cherokee County to vote?
Currently, there is only one requirement for an ID, and that's in federal elections, and that's if that's the first time you voted. But in 2010, with our general election, we will be having a question on the general ballot that is asking you, do you want every voter to be required to show an ID at the polls? The 4 acceptable IDs that are in that question that will be allowed as acceptable IDs is a voter registration card issued by the county election board, your driver's license, that is a state-issued driver's license of Oklahoma, a state-issued ID, those are both pictures. And then the only other acceptable ID is a tribal membership photo card.
So those are coming up in an election question.
Yes, in 2010.
In 2010. Well, Connie, we really appreciate you being here today. And what's the number for the election board?
456-2261. We are open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, we hope that all of you will be sure and register to vote if you're not already. If you have questions, please give the election board a quick phone call so you can get those questions answered, and then be at the poll for the next election. Connie, thanks for being here. We hope you come back and see us soon.
I'd be happy to.
And we'll be right back.